Ukrainian forces struck two key road bridges along critical Russian grounds lines of communication connecting occupied Crimea and occupied Kherson Region on August 6, causing Russian forces to reroute road traffic from shorter eastern routes to longer western routes. Kherson Oblast Occupation Administration head Vladimir Saldo claimed that Ukrainian forces launched 12 missiles at a road bridge across the Henichesk Strait connecting Henichesk Rayon to the Arabat Spit and that Russian air defenses intercepted 9 of the missiles. Russian sources amplified images showing significant damage to the bridge and claimed that Ukrainian strikes partially collapsed a section of the bridge. Later Russian sources showed footage of Ukrainian forces striking the Khanhur Road Bridge along the M18 Tsenkoy-Melitopol highway connecting occupied Crimea with occupied Kherson Oblast and subsequent minor damage to both sides of the bridge. Crimean occupation head Sergei Aksionov claimed that Ukrainian forces launched 2 missiles at the bridge and that 1 missile made it through Russian air defenses and damaged the roadbed of the road bridge. Russian sources claim that Ukrainian forces used Storm Shadow cruise missiles to conduct both strikes, although there is no any confirmation of Russian forces intercepting Storm Shadow cruise missiles. Aksionov announced that repair work is underway at the Khanhur Bridge and that Russian officials will reroute all traffic through the Armyansk and Perekop checkpoints along the Armyansk-Oleshki and Armyansk-Nova-Kakhovka highways. The Crimean Occupation Transport Ministry announced that all traffic through the Dzhankoy checkpoint along the M18 highway is closed but that traffic along the Kerch Strait Bridge and the Kerch Strait ferry crossing is operating normally. The Russian Federal Security Service suspended civilian entry to the Arabat Spit as of July 31. The extent of the damage to the bridge across the Henichesk Strait is likely forcing Russian forces to redirect military traffic from the Arabat Spit to longer western routes between occupied Crimea and occupied Kherson Oblast. That means that most if not all Russian road traffic between Crimea and Kherson Oblast will have to pass along or very close to 120-kilometer section of the highway between Ishin and Armyansk. This major bottleneck in Russian grounds lines of communications will likely pose significant disruptions to logistics and chances for delays and traffic jams. It is unclear how quickly Russian officials will be able to repair the Khanhur Bridge, and it is equally as unclear if Russian officials have repaired the Khanhur railway bridge that Ukrainian forces struck on July 29. The damage to the Henichesk Strait Bridge will likely take Russian officials substantially longer to repair. Russian grounds lines of communications along the T-2202 northwest of Crimea, especially routes along primary and trunk roads south of Nova Kakhovka, are closer to Ukrainian positions in Upper Kherson Oblast and in many cases within artillery range of the Ukrainian-held western bank of the river. Russian forces likely can reduce risks from Ukrainian indirect fire in this area by taking slower and less efficient village roads northeast of Chaplinka, but at the cost of slower and more complicated logistic support. Ukrainian strikes on bridges along critical Russian grounds lines of communications are a part of the Ukrainian interdiction campaign focused on setting conditions for future decisive counteroffensive operations. The Ukrainian strikes on August 6 show that Ukrainian forces are methodically trying to cut off the Russian grouping in southern Ukraine and disrupt its logistics in a way similar to the Ukrainian interdiction campaign during the Kherson counteroffensive. Russian defenses on west, right, bank Kherson Oblast broke down in a matter of days following months of Ukrainian strikes on Russian logistics and expressed concern that the situation could repeat itself. The Ukrainian strikes on the eastern crossing points will likely disrupt the transport of Russian personnel, material, and equipment from occupied Crimea to critical Russian defensive operations in western Zaporizhia Oblast and the Zaporizhia-Donetsk Oblast border area for some undetermined time. Ukrainian forces appear to be also expanding their interdiction efforts to target Russian naval targets involved in Russian logistics in the Black Sea. New satellite imagery of the Russian amphibious assault ship Olenigorsky Gornyak, which was attacked by a Ukrainian sea drone 2 days ago, was posted by an Austin activist M.T. Anderson on August 6. The image shows the Olenigorsky Gornyak, supported by other 4 vessels, including the Gurzov crane ship, a rescue ship, and diving boats. The Olenigorsky Gornyak was heavily damaged by a Ukrainian sea drone attack near the Russian port city of Novorossiysk. The ship was hit by a drone carrying 450 kilograms of explosive, sources at Ukraine's security service said. Ukrainian officials have routinely stated their commitment to a deliberate interdiction campaign against Russian military targets to degrade Russian logistics and defensive capabilities to set favorable conditions for future Ukrainian counteroffensive activity.